So I wanted to take a minute because I'm setting up to do some recording. I've recorded a little bit in the past, but nothing very serious. And I want to sit down and record a bunch of the songs that I've written. And I thought it'd be cool to show what I'm using, and maybe you guys will think that's kind of cool, and just kind of document the process of recording the music that I'm going to record. So I'm just going to do a rundown of all the music gear that I have to record with, and they'll kind of give you an idea of what maybe I'm going to try and do. So to start, what I'm recording with, I'm using this Tascam DP008, and it's a cool little 8-track recorder. You can record 2 tracks at one time, and I'm actually using it to record the audio on this with a little lapel mic that I borrowed, so hopefully the audio quality comes out really nice for this video. But I really like the DP008. It's really nice if you just want to do kind of some scratch pad sort of ideas, recording some songs. But if you want to do like some serious recording, it can do that too. It's got some equalization and reverb built in if you want to do it all in the device. What I'm planning on doing is actually I'll record all my stuff onto it, but then I'm just going to import it all into the computer for mixing. But I like using the standalone hardware for doing the actual recording. I just feel it's a little more reliable. I've never had much luck using an actual computer to do recording in the past. So right here I've got the Akai SynthStation 25, and what this is this is a little keyboard dock for the iPhone, and I'm going to actually be using it with GarageBand. It doesn't work natively with GarageBand, but there's another app called MIDI Bridge that will allow it to work with GarageBand. And you know, I think I'll actually probably do like a video review of the Akai SynthStation as well as using MIDI Bridge with GarageBand, because it's really cool. And what I'm going to be using this for is, of course, keys, but as well as the other instruments. It's got the drums. I'll actually be using the drum machine because I don't have a drum set, and I think the drums on here, when they're in the mix with everything else, they sound fairly convincing, better than some older drum machines that I've messed around with. But GarageBand's a really cool little app. I really like the smart drums because you can just whip up a decent drum beat pretty quick that way. And then I'll also be using the bass, kind of similar to the drums. Like in the mix, I think, considering that I don't have an actual electric bass, using the bass in GarageBand will work pretty well. I think it sounds pretty good. So pretty cool little device, the SynthStation. Makes it a lot easier to play than just on the touchscreen keyboard. And so that will be a really useful tool throughout the whole recording process. What I'm planning on doing is probably making my drum beats in the actual GarageBand app. Although you can record whole songs in GarageBand, I think the Tascam is going to give me a better quality and a lot more options. But I'll use GarageBand for the drum beats. I'll record those into the Tascam, and then after the fact, then I'll use GarageBand more to, you know, add keys or bass or whatever, besides all the guitar recording that I'm going to do. I've got some other little things. Got a capo, that's always important. I've got the little Smoky amp a friend gave me. It's really cool. So I don't know if I'll use it or not, but you know, it's nice to have a bunch of little tricks in your bag, because you never know where it might make a good sound. I've got this plastic harmonica. I don't know how to play harmonica really, so I probably won't use that, but I'm just getting everything out because you never know. Then I've got the stylophone, and that's really fun, the cool little stylus keyboard. So maybe that'll work its way in. I've got a Hohner melodica. This is the student melodica. It's not as nice as like the alto or soprano, the red or the green ones, because it's only got 1.5 octaves instead of 2 full octaves. That's kind of a bummer, but maybe I'll use it. It's cool and it's fun. All right, and then the amp I'm using right now, it's just a solid state Fender Frontman 25R, which, I mean, isn't that impressive. It'd be nice to have a really cool tube amp, but this is cool. I actually like the clean channel. The clean channel's pretty solid. The overdrive channel is not bad if you keep the drive down, if you want to do just kind of some lighter overdrive stuff. So it's really not bad. So I might use the overdrive channel, but the clean channel's solid. It's got some good bass response, so it's really not a bad amp. And I think in the recording, I don't think people are going to be telling me that my amp sounds terrible. And it looks pretty decent too. The mic I'm using, I'm not using anything expensive. Most of the gear I'm using is pretty cheap. It's just a Nady Star Power SP1, so pretty much the cheapest mics you can get, but they've got decent build quality, they work, and they don't sound that bad, so I'm not bummed on it, so I don't think anybody else should be. Alright, then coming down here, so I've got all these effects pedals. I've got the Zoom G3, which is a cool multi-effects pedal that splits it into 3 different effects. It's really cool, just kind of Swiss Army knife effects pedal. You know, it will do anything that, you know, I want it to do. Some of the effects are not that great, some are so-so, some are quite good. But overall, really useful, especially for reverbs, delay. Right now I've got it set up to a Fender Combo simulator, some spring reverb, and a tremolo. Really cool pedal. I'd like to do a in-depth review of this because I know a lot of people would like to kind of hear what all the different effects do and what this is capable of. It's also got a nice little looper, which is nice for working out ideas or doing some songwriting. Then over here I've got all these 5 dirt pedals. I built these myself. So right here the green is like a clean boost or preamp, so it's got volume and some tone control, so it's more of just a useful tool rather than an effect, but if I need some more volume or just kind of need to sculpt the sound. And this blue one is kind of a weird glitchy fuzz, kind of, you know, sounds video gamey. And for the music that I'm doing, I don't know that I'll use it, but maybe in the background or for some special effect. This red one is kind of like a ragged garage kind of fuzz. It's not super saturated, but it's got kind of a neat sound, so that might come out. Or it sounds really interesting when you stack it with other things. This mustard, or this kind of gold one, is another fuzz pedal. It's more saturated, kind of the 70s. It's sort of like a Big Muff, but not really. So it's just got volume and a couple tone controls. And then this cream one over here is in overdrive. And this one I'll probably be using a lot. Kind of a fairly transparent overdrive. It kind of blends well with whatever the amp's doing, so that's pretty nice. Then guitars. So the main guitar is the Fender Mustang. This is just one of the reissue models, but this is my favorite guitar. If you don't have a Mustang, you should probably get one so that you will be happy. Then the other electric, this is a old, if we can get up here, so it's a K. Kind of a funky guitar. I've got the action set up pretty decent, so the action's pretty usably low, not perfect. The frets are old and they're worn, so bar chords or bending notes is kind of troublesome, but this will just maybe give me an alternate electric guitar sound. It's got, you know, a pretty decent output pickup, but at the same time it sounds like it's a 60s student guitar, which is what it is. So that's cool. And then right here I've got the Pan acoustic. So this is an old made in Japan acoustic. It's got kind of the Martin OM body shape, and it was pretty cheap, but it's got a solid top and it just sounds actually quite nice. And I think it's from probably the 70s. And the tuners I really like. They don't feel the smoothest, but they're just super stable. Like, I'll take this thing out of the case after a couple months and it'll still be in tune. So I'll be using that for my acoustic tracks. So in short, that's basically my whole setup right now, and I'll be recording with all of this, and I'll probably make some more videos of maybe some snippets of what I'm recording, or maybe I'll video a whole song. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So if you have any questions or would like maybe an in-depth review on any of these things, I'd be glad to do it. Thanks for watching.